Hello children, myself Anindita Banerjee back again with another informative video for you. I have already started the second chapter of your science book, that is animals in their surroundings. I have already explained you the first 3 pages of your second chapter. Now I shall recapitulate once again so that everything is much more clear to you. Now let me start with habitat. I have already told you what is an habitat. The place where an animal lives, feeds and reproduces is called its habitat. You can see the picture. Animals habitat, the forest habitat is there. Those who live in forest, their habitat is forest. For example, tiger, lion, okay. Then we come to desert habitat, that means those who live in desert. The camel, for instance, they stay in desert, they live over there, they feed over there, and they reproduce over there only, okay. So the habitat of camel is desert, okay. Now see water habitats, that many aquatic animals are there, tortoise, fish, their habitats are water, okay. This is underground habitats, the earthworm, they live underground, okay. So their habitat is in the soil. Clear? Everyone is clear? Okay, so different animals live in different habitats, okay. And animals living in a particular habitat adapt themselves to their surrounding. They adapt themselves to the surrounding, okay. And this habitat provide the animal with air, food, water and shelter, okay. So the habitats provides an animal with air, food, water and shelter, okay. Now I told you yesterday in my video that there are 2 main types of habitat. One is aquatic or water habitat and the other is terrestrial or land habitat. See, the habitat provides shelter, water and food for the animals, okay. Now see the different habitats. I've shown you the different habitats. See hippopotamus, can you say its habitat is marshes where there's mud and water mixed, okay. Elephant, the habitat of elephant is forest. The habitat of alligator is what? Lake. Zebra is grasslands. Yesterday I shown you a picture, I suppose. And bear, the habitat of bear is cave, okay. Yes, in the forest. Clear? So I've shown you different habitats. Now adaptation, I told you, the process which enables organisms to adjust to their environment in order to ensure survival. That means they are able to survive there. They adjust themselves with the surroundings. See, this is the polar bear. It adjusts with in the polar region, the cold climate. The penguin also. And in the desert, see, there's a snake. It adjusts itself with the surrounding over there, okay. This is adaptation, okay. See the different types of adaptation. Have you understood? So there are the 2 main types of habitat, that is aquatic or water habitat, which includes salty water and fresh water, and terrestrial or land habitat includes forests, grasslands, deserts, polar regions and mountains, okay. Now here, let me quickly review what I had done. That animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals, and animals that live in water are called aquatic animals. And water amphibians, animals that partly live on land and partly in water are called amphibians. And water arboreal animals, that animals that mostly live on trees are known as arboreal animals. And water aerial animals, animals that can fly are called aerial animals. I think this is clear to you. Now today I will start from camouflage. Now I told you children, yesterday we have discussed this page. Still I am going to tell you once more. So what is camouflaging? Camouflaging is hide or disguise of a person, animal or object, okay. See here, there is an animal. Can you find over here? No, because it is camouflaging, that is, it is mingling. It is mixing with the surrounding. You cannot identify, you cannot find where is the animal, okay. See the tiger, can you see? It mixes, it mingles with the surrounding, okay. This is what camouflaging means. See the deer, it's camouflaging with the surrounding, and the predator or the enemy cannot find it easily, okay. This is what camouflaging means. Everyone, is it clear to you? I hope your the concept of camouflaging is clear to everyone. Okay, so and zebra also, you have seen it has striped body, and it looks similar to the surrounding or the background. Okay, see, this is the deer. Okay, this is what camouflaging is. Okay, the deer, see, it's camouflaging in the surrounding. It the predator or the enemy cannot visualize where the deer is. Okay, because it is mixing with the surrounding. Clear? So this camouflaging, it prevents the animal from being seen by its predator. Predator means enemy. Okay, the deer is not easily visible in the forest due to its body covering. See, it is not visible properly. Okay, now I shall move to the next part of your lesson. That is page 21. Porcupine. This is a porcupine. In Bengali we often call it shojaru, but in Hindi I am not sure of. Okay, so this porcupine, see, it has sharp needle-like spines. Sharp needle-like spines called quills on its body. Okay, and it protects this against enemies. See, it has killed a tiger. Can you imagine this porcupine? Okay, so this porcupine has sharp needle-like spines. These sharp needle-like spines are called quills, and it protects its body against enemies. Okay, see, again this is a picture of a porcupine. Yes, see, again one more picture of a porcupine. Can you see the spines? And the spines are called quills, and it protects the body against enemies or predator. Now we come to insect. This is a picture of a bee. Now insects such as bees, they have waxy water resistant outer covering. Their body is waxy, like waxy means, you know, that mom ki tarah. Okay, mombatir waxer moto. That is and water resistant. That means it does not allow water to enter the body. Okay, and it is this outer covering, this is which is waxy and water resistant. It is called the cuticle. It is called the cuticle. Clear? See, this is the picture of a bee, and it has a waxy water resistance outer covering, which is called cuticle. Okay, now this is a picture of ant again. Ants and bees, both they have waxy and water resistance outer covering, which is called cuticle. Okay, so both ants and bees, they have a waxy and water resistance means it does not allow water to enter the body. Okay, water resistance outer covering called cuticle. See, ants you have already seen. We have seen also around you. See the picture of ants. Okay, now we come to the next part, this is a picture of armadillos. Okay, animals such as armadillos, they have hard armor-like plates. See, armor-like plates that provide protection from enemies. This have hard armor-like plates, and this protects its body against enemies. Okay, see the picture of armadillos. Have you seen? These are the pictures of armadillos. Okay, now this part is clear, I think so. Camouflaging you have understood. How does porcupine have sharp needle-like spines called quills, and it protects its body against enemies. And insects such as bees and ants have a waxy and water resistance outer covering, which is called cuticle. Okay, and animals such as armadillos, they have hard armor-like plates which protects its body from enemies. Okay, now I come to the next page of your science book, that is page 22. Now I'll be explaining you the eating habits of different animals. Now every animal don't eat the same thing, is it? Animals have different eating habits, and their body parts are also suited to the type of food they eat. Their body structure is such that they are able to eat that particular type of food. Okay, suppose if you look at this picture, see, horse is there, a rabbit is there, elephant is there. They are called herbivores. Now what do you mean by herbivores? They only eat plants and plant materials. Herbivores may eat leaves, fruits, roots, or even tree bark. Okay, they usually need to eat often during the day in order to have enough energy. Clear? Have you clear? Is it clear to you? Everyone have understood what are herbivores? So they are plant or grass eating animals. Okay, and these type of animals, they have sharp front teeth to cut the grass. These herbivores, they have sharp, their front teeth are very sharp. Why? They have sharp front teeth to cut the grass, and their back teeth are broad. Why they have back the broad teeth? Why? Because to chew and grind them. Chew, চিবানা, চিবানোর জন্য, and grind মানে পেশার জন্য, and smash করে দেয়. Okay, so is it clear? So zebra, giraffe, cow, goat, deer, horse, rabbit, elephant, all these have sharp front teeth. Why? To cut the grass. And they have broad back teeth to chew and grind them. Clear? So these type of animals are called herbivores. They eat plants, they eat herbs, shrubs, leaves of trees. Okay, is it clear? And these type of animals, see, herbivores, this cow, buffalo, rabbit, here deer, giraffe. So these animals only eat plants. They may eat different parts of a plant. They may eat roots, leaves, fruits, or the juice of flowers. Cows, buffaloes, rabbits, deer, and giraffes are some examples of herbivores. And these animals do not eat flesh. Remember, herbivores, they never eat flesh. Okay, they have strong teeth to chew grass and leaves of tree. This I have already explained. Birds eat little seeds and grains. They use their beaks to pick up the seeds from the soil. Okay, now this herbivores, I told you, is it clear? Now this herbivores, they also have hard hooves. Hard hooves. Now what do you mean by hooves? Yes, hooves means this feet, the under they have hard hooves under their feet. The hard hooves under the feet, which is very hard. Okay, which makes it able to walk on uneven surfaces in search of food. So these herbivores have hard hooves under their feet, which makes them walk easily on uneven surfaces for search of food or to run from its predators. Okay, clear? Now we come to carnivores. Now what are carnivores? Animals such as cat, tiger, lion, they eat the flesh of other animals. They are called carnivores. See, I have shown you the pictures of carnivores. Many are there. See, grey fox, jackal, okay, hyenas, lion, cheetah, mountain lion, black bear. All these are examples of carnivores. And what are their structure? What is the structure of their feeding thing? They have sharp and pointed front teeth for tearing flesh. Okay, so they have sharp and pointed front teeth. Their front teeth are sharp and pointed so that they can tear the flesh. Okay, and their back teeth help them to chew the flesh. Okay, and they also have sharp claws. Why? So that they can catch hold of the prey, their enemies, and tear the flesh properly. Okay, so the three characteristics of carnivores are, characteristics means the features. What are the features of carnivores? First point is they have sharp and pointed front teeth. Front teeth are sharp and pointed. Why? For tearing the flesh. Okay, the second feature of this carnivores is that their back teeth help them to chew the flesh. Okay, and the third feature of this carnivores are they have sharp claws on their feet to catch their prey, to catch their enemies. Okay, now see carnivores, pictures of carnivores: fox, wolf, lion, shark. These are all carnivores. That means they are flesh eating animals. They eat the flesh of other animals. See the picture of a tiger. Okay, It eats the flesh of other animals. Never go near a tiger, you know what will happen then. Now, though omnivores is also eating habits of certain animals, though it is not in your book, but I think I should discuss with you. Okay. Now, omnivores. What do you mean by omnivores? Omnivores are both flesh and plant eating animals. They eat both flesh also, plants also. These are called omnivores. See, picture of dog, then cat, crow, hen, pig, cockroach, squirrel. All these are omnivores. Okay, peacock, rat, bear, chimpanzee, lizard, ostrich, bat. Okay, opossum. Then this is a hedgehog. All these are examples of omnivores. Yes, bear. See, it is a omnivore. Okay. Omnivore, yes, see examples omnivore. Human being is also omnivore because we eat both plant and animals as well. So we are example of omnivores. Okay. Now this is a picture of a eagle. Okay, eagle. Eagles are carnivores. Eagles are examples of carnivores. That means they eat the flesh of other animals. See, eating the flesh of a dog, I suppose. So I told you eagle is a carnivore and eats the flesh of other animals. See, I've shown you the picture. It has killed a dog and it's eating its flesh. See. Now this is a vulture. Okay, this is a vulture. It is also a carnivore. It also eat other animals' flesh. It is also an example of carnivores. See. They've killed a dog and they're enjoying the meal. Okay, it is a carnivores. Now is it clear everyone? Carnivores. So the three eating habits of animals are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Herbivores are animals, those who consume or those who eat only plants or grass eating animals. Okay, carnivores, those who eat the flesh of other animals. And omnivores, though it is not in your book, but you still should know the term that they eat both flesh and plant eating animals. Okay. Now I come to talons, that is in page 23 of your science book. Now what do you mean by talons? Yes, it is a long, sharp, curved nail. Can you see the picture I've shown? A long, sharp, curved nail on the feet of some birds, especially ones that kill other animals and birds for food. So these talons help the bird to kill the animals, okay, and eat the food. Okay, so these animals, certain animals which have these talons are eagles, vultures. Okay, they have talons. Why? They hunt smaller animals such as mice and squirrels for food. Okay, so have you understood what are talons? These eagles, vulture, they have sharp, curved claws. These are called talons. Okay, and these claws help them to catch and grip their prey. Grip means keep hold of. Their prey means enemies. Okay, and see, this is the picture of talons. Okay, talons. It is curved. I told you, a long, sharp, curved nail. It is curved nail on the feet of some birds, especially ones that kill other animals and birds for food. Have you understood? See, they have also hooked beaks. Okay, see, can you see the picture? To tear the flesh, so many fish it is having. Okay, so birds that primarily hunt while flying at a height are known as birds of prey. That means birds that the main thing they hunt while flying only, they hunt, and they are known as birds of prey. Clear? This is an example of birds of prey. Now I come to rodents. What are rodents? First, let me tell you. A type of small animals such as rat, rabbit, a mouse, which has strong, sharp front teeth. These are called rodents. Okay. So again I repeat myself. Rodents are type of small animals, okay, such as rat, a rabbit, a mouse, and they have strong, sharp front teeth. These animals are called rodents, okay. The examples of rodents I have shown the picture, see. Rats are there, squirrels are there, and they have sharp front teeth, I told you, and they use these teeth to gnaw their food, that means to chew their food, okay. And these animals are called rodents. See, have you seen the pictures? See, again a picture of a rodent, again a picture of a rodent, again a picture of a rodent. This is a squirrel, which is a rodent, example of a rodent. Clear? Now I come to the next part in your book, that is proboscis. Now what is proboscis? In many insects, an elongated sucking mouthpart. Elongated means long, long, sucking to suck, to take something. Mouthpart that is typically tubular. Tubular means tube-like. It's like a tube. And flexible. That means it is easily movable. Okay. It can move in any direction. So, butterflies have a long thin tube-like mouth called proboscis. These butterflies have this feature of proboscis. Again I repeat myself. Now what is proboscis? In many insects an elongated sucking, see, elongated sucking mouth part that is typically tubular like a tube, and flexible, that means it is easily movable, okay. It is called a proboscis. Butterflies have this, okay. Why this butterfly use this for what? They use it to suck nectar from flowers. Nectar means honey from flowers. Clear? Now did you understand what is proboscis? Okay. That is, butterflies have a long thin tube like mouth. It's like a tube through which it sucks nectar from flowers. Okay, see, proboscis or food tube, and it works like a straw. Okay, it works like a straw. See, have you seen the picture? Yes. See, it is sucking nectar from flowers. It is acting like a straw. Okay, I told you it is elongated, that means a long one, sucking mouth part. It sucks. What it sucks? Nectar, that is honey from flowers. Okay, and it is typically tubular. Tubular means like tube, and flexible. It is easily movable. Okay, now I come to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, you know, have a needle-like tube that helps them to suck blood. Yes, you're well experienced. Many times mosquitoes bite us. Yes, what they do? They have a needle tube-like structure that sucks blood from our body, which help them to suck blood from our body. See, a mosquito is sitting and sucking blood from hand of a person. Yes, so mosquitoes have a needle like tube. It helps them to suck blood. See, okay. So never sleep without a mosquito net. Please put on a mosquito net before sleeping. Otherwise, what will happen? Mosquitoes will come and suck your blood, okay, and you may have malaria. So be cautious, okay. Now I come to the next part of your book, that is breathing methods. Yes, now breathing is the process by which, you know, animals take in and give out air. They take in and they give out air, okay. Now what for human beings, what we do? We take in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. The air they breathe in supplies oxygen to their bodies. So the air which is we are breathing in, it supplies oxygen to our body. Clear? See, air is entering through the nostril. Okay, when air enters, the rib cage expands and rib muscles contract. Inhalation means, that is when you take in air. Okay, and exhalation means when you breathe out air. Clear? In details you don't have to do, you just know what is breathing, that is taking in of oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. Okay. Now we come to aquatic animals. Aquatic animals I have discussed that animals that live in water are called aquatic animals. Now aquatic animals get oxygen from the air that is dissolved in water. Now they stay in water, so how will they get the oxygen? Oxygen is already dissolved in water, so they breathe in oxygen which is already dissolved in water. Now different animals have different organs for breathing. Yes. See, animals that breathe in dissolved oxygen usually have gills. Fishes, yes, you know, fishes they have gills. When oxygen rich water passes over the gills, the dissolved oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is given out. This is shrimp and this is a shark. Picture of a shark and a shrimp. Okay. Is it clear? Okay. Now I come to the next one. Now birds. See, fish. It is gills soak in oxygen from water. This is the picture of gills. And first water goes in through the mouth. First water is entering through the mouth. Yes, then what happens? These gills, they soak. That means they absorb in oxygen from water. These gills, they soak in oxygen. That means it absorbs in oxygen from water. And the water goes out through the gills again. Yes, this is respiration in fish. That means breathing mechanism of fish. Okay. Now fishes, they have chambers in their heart is two. They have two chambers in their heart. And the structure for movement, they move with the help of what? Fins. And they reproduce by laying eggs in water. And organ that keeps them afloat, that means they are able to float in water due to swimming bladder which they have. And they are cold-blooded animals. These fish are cold-blooded and they breathe through their gills. I told you, yes. Now see different ways of breathing of different animals. This chicken, it breathes through lungs. Fishes again with gills. Caterpillar through spiracles, small holes in their body. I told you spiracles. Okay, yes. Okay. See, this is the picture of lungs. You need not know so much. Just see the picture of lungs for just a brief idea of it. How the lungs look, I have shown you the picture. You need not know anything details about it. Okay. At this stage. Now I come to hemoglobin. Now what is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is a red substance in the blood that carries the gas we need to live. That is oxygen. And contains iron. Again I repeat myself. Hemoglobin is a red substance in the blood. Okay. That carries the gas we need to live. That is, it carries oxygen. And it also contains iron. You know, deficiency of iron leads to what? Anemia. If there is deficiency of iron in your body, then you are suffering from anemia. Okay. And it is a non-communicable disease. It is a non-communicable disease. So I complete here till page 23. I hope you have understood. The basic concept is clear. Please go through the chapter. I have put some questions already. Now I will upload more questions related to these 3 pages. Please do solve it. Read the lesson which I have already uploaded. Okay. I hope you are understanding what I am watching. Please please put a like if you like my video, and don't forget to subscribe. There's a bell button. Please press that. Then when only I'll upload any new videos, you'll get its notification. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, children. Stay in good health. Stay safe. Stay at home. Thank you.